go through your grid in the meantime. It's Matt Bolsover, I think that says. Nathan Drury and Alan Carter is your front row. Aaron Walker, Ava Carter, and well, behind the grid graphic, you can see still just a little bit greasy maybe. So Ava Carter, Michael Ford is your second row. Ross Humphreys is and William Lawrence, Jamie King makes up the third row. Patrick O'Connor, Mark Evans, John Robinson is on row 4. So one or two perhaps experienced this track conditions for the first time, or certainly as the track is hopefully drying out, but every now and again I think we're getting a little bit of drizzle. Brendan Allen, Mick Lord, Anthony West on row 5. That's the top 15, but I think there's more to come. Is that all I'm getting? Top 15. Well, believe me that there's more than 15 on track. Our poor little minions having to type these in, so there's only so much he can do in the time allotted. I'm getting nods of approval from the production staff. Oh, lovely shot here. Now we've had a look at the mini GP bikes, and they did look like mini racing bikes, road racing bikes with fairings. This to me has the look and feel of a supermoto, and we're gonna throw over to Matt shortly. That's bike 133.
Aaron, fourth on the grid.
And yeah, not ideal qualifying this morning. Yeah, went out on this and clutch went.
So Aaron, fourth on the grid.
Yeah, not ideal this morning. We had a technical issue on this one. I had to jump on spare bike on 140, sorry. But you know, we'll try and make up for it in this one now.
Yeah. What conditions like? It's drying out now, isn't it? What you're running? You're running super soft and an S on the rear.
Yeah, it's dry. There's still oil down light, but you know, someone's just crashed then leaving pit, so we just have to see how it goes and take it there.
Well, good luck, mate.
So not long to wait. Matt now has another sprint back to join me here in the commentary box. We're looking for the green flag. Revs beginning to rise. There's a couple of gaps in the grid there. That might be one of our fallers. We might have to go to the back of the grid rather than come through to take up his original grid slot. So we're not waiting for lights. We're waiting for a green flag. Just holding. I can see somebody in the background. Maybe he's coming through to take up a grid slot. Are you ready for the cavalry charge? We're not going to use the bus stop on the first lap. Probably wise in the conditions, and certainly with this number of riders. Threatening clouds, but if the wind keeps up, that'll probably keep the rain away from getting too heavy. Just a little bit of drizzle. Little pocket rockets. Ready to go. And we're on our starters orders. Green flag. And we're racing in the stock 160 pit bike race. Race number 1. Look at the number, and here they come. Round turn, what effectively is turn 1 down to turn 2.
Look at that. Just look at that. Just look at that. It's like a sea. Right.
I wouldn't want to be stood outside of that corner. Into the bus, or into the second chicane, you could call that. Let's call it the mountain section. There's too many chicanes on this circuit.
Yeah, we call it the mountain up there. So the lads are coming down the straight now, so we hit them at least 70, 75. It's completely bone dry out there now. So we're absolutely flat out coming into the S's.
Just let them settle into an order, and we'll see who's leading this. Perhaps you might recognise these better than I.
Yeah, we've got Matt Bolster out in front. He's actually one of our instructors. We spoke about earlier on. He rides for Superlights and Bucci. In second place, we've got Aaron Walker. We've had chat to on the grid.
And it looks as though the front three have got a little bit of a gap here, and we've got to move for second place into...
Yeah, Alan Carter's coming through. That's a real family. We've got Ava's sister, Jack, and obviously Alan come down. They all come down for a race weekend. I spoke to Aaron Walker, who's just in the third, but he had a few problems on qualifying. Hopefully he's ironed those out of the bike now.
So it's Matthew Bolsover leading from Alan Carter, Aaron Walker, Martin Cockayne, Ava Carter, Patrick O'Connor, Michael Ford, Jamie King, Mark Evans, Tom Orland is your top 10. But if I pull up the live timing screen, I can go all the way down to 40th place. What a field.
Yeah, watch out for Patrick O'Connor at the moment. He's sat in 6th at the moment. He's going to start pushing through the field. We're chasing down Ava, and he's going to start pushing through soon.
Yeah, there is a group there running. It looks as though about 4th or 5th place backwards. I think that might be a group of 5 or 6 riders.
Yeah, you can see Paddy just coming through now. Mark Cocaine's on one of the mini pits. He's also one of our veterans. He's probably one of the longest standing riders we have within the BMB.
Now, I do wonder sometimes into these hairpins, do people favour the block pass of the motocross sort of thing? Stick it down the inside, stop it and turn it to get a position?
No, you show your fellow riders a level of respect. No, it's nothing to do with block passing. We encourage our riders to obviously be aware of what they're doing and also what the other people are doing. So no block passing at all. Well, we try not to. I know it's happened, but
It does. It happens. Well, we've got a leading 3 now. We have a battle on for the lead, and then we've got a 5-way dice for 4th place.
Patch has just come through.
I think this is where you find that qualifying is important. If you start at the front, you're going to get away. If you're in the midfield, you're going to have to get your elbows out to a certain extent.
Especially at a track like this, because it's so fast and flowing. There's only a couple of real overtaking points. You've got the hairpins coming onto the start and finish straight, so that left-hander just to go onto that, it's a nice overtaking point there, and the right-hand at the bottom of the hill. But because it's so fast and flowing, you are limited in where you can pass, and especially at the front of the 160, because you look at the lap times and they're all within half a second of each other, so they're all on very similar pace.
So the field beginning to spread a little, but only a little. And it looks as though we've got another group forming here, probably in the what would that be? The battle for about 9th and 10th. So we got a group of 3, a group of 5, and then we've got a battle further back at the bottom of the top 10, which would be, I think, Tom Orland, Brendan Allen.
Tom's
Jack
dropped
Carter.
down to 11th.
I think we've had an unfortunate. Keep kicking it, it'll start. It don't want to go, Matt.
You don't want to go.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is, of course, is you've got a second race.
Yeah, we have 2 races during the day, and as you said, it's a cumulative point scheme, so your points of both races count to the final result. So if you have a bad race in race 1, you hope to try and make up at least something in race 2.
I'm guessing is your finishing position for race 1 setting the grid for race 2?
No, we go on the qualifying position.
Okay.
For both races.
Well, that at least takes some of the edge off the disappointment of not being able to kickstart your bike.
See, Matt's just checking out a little bit at the front there now.
Yeah, it was 0.8 of a second on the last lap, but that looks more like a second to me. As they come through to finish lap number 4, it's actually nearly 2 seconds now, so he's making his move. Is there any sort of worry about tyres when it's hot? Can you overcook your tyres? Can you use your tyres up, sort of thing?
Yeah, most of the riders now will be on the PMTS slick. Some lads run Dunlops, but 99.9% of the riders will be on PMTs today, and they'll be on the S, which is the soft compound tyre, the racing slicks. Oh, there's a big one there.
So let's see if we can recognise that. Is that bike 11?
Bike 11, 147.
Wow.
That's Jake Whittaker and
so many bikes. So many people to try and recognise, Matt. It's not easy, this commentating lark.
There's Matt's coming through some of the back markers now. I think we're 6 laps. 6 laps to go now. He's just probably starting to not ease off, but just pick his way through the back markers and make sure he don't make a mistake. It's not. It is dry out there, but there are. You've seen some cement and dust down, a couple of oily patches. So the last thing he wants to do is hit one of those and make a mistake.
See, the guys are starting to use a bit of curb, so the track must be pretty well bone dried out.
Yeah,
venturing over onto the paint. Of course, the trouble with the back markers, or coming through the field when you're the leader, is if you do ease off and you catch, say, a back marker into the mountain section, you could lose 2 or 3 seconds, and it's game on again at the front.
Absolutely, 100%. And obviously, we run quite large grids at Teesside. This is the only circuit where you can run 50-odd bikes on track at the same time. At other tracks, we split the grids into an A and a B group. Some call it fast and slow, but none of our riders are slow. And so you just call it fast and a little bit faster. And so in the A group, say Matt, for example, if he would be in the A group, he wouldn't be catching the back markers as quick as he is here.
Some lovely camera work there. Seeing a man at work, man and machine as one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now he's taking the wider line through South Bank Bend.
Slightly wide on the exit. So this you basically treat that as one. I know it's 2 corners, but you try and treat it as one. You keep your body weight over to the right, so you settle the bike up and just keep it flowing into that right-hand hairpin.
Well, you see, right in the bus stop, just where you don't want him. Well, that shortcut works.
I don't think I had a choice about that one.
Is there any sort of track limits? Does he need to worry about somebody docking him a time penalty or calling him for
the track limits, Joe, the red and white bits on the side of the track and the green bits.
It's stay off the green bits.
Let's stay off the green bits if possible, yeah. I know they're pit bikes, so it's a drive for motocross bikes, but we don't encourage any kind of motocross.
It's not supermoto just yet.
Not just yet, no. No jumps.
Right, well, into the closing stages now. Matt Bolsover is controlling this one from the front, trying to navigate the traffic, and there are 1 or 2 pinch points. But he's done that neatly enough. His lead was 3.1 seconds on the last lap, ahead of Alan Carter on bike 99, who is still in a dice here for second place with Aaron Walker. We've got Michael Ford in 4th place. He's 7 seconds off the lead, but 3 seconds clear of Jamie King. Actually, it's 10 and a half seconds off the lead, but 3 seconds clear of a dice still going on between Jamie King and Martin Cockayne. Mark Evans, Jack Carter, Brendan Allen, Tom Orland still running in 10th. Barry Prue is moved up to 11th place on bike 777. 2 laps from the finish. Martin's safely negotiated the mountain section, and it's proving hard work, I think, for Alan and Aaron to close in now that we're into traffic. I think. And once again into the S's. And into the hairpin. I believe this is the battle for second place that we're looking at now.
Yeah, we have a comment from Gary. Yeah, Matt, look forward. He's keeping an eye on it now, making sure the guys in the back are not catching up with him. But I think his dad's down here this weekend, so he'll be on pit wall, hopefully signalling to him, making sure that he knows what, because there's a 2-second gap.
We've got a change for second. Aaron Walker's taken second place, but now has lost it again. Lovely move there by Alan Carter. And he's got a good drive out of the corner as well, so he's managed to put a little bit of a gap into him, but I suspect there is a slipstream to be had here.
Absolutely, yeah, especially down that back straight. Yeah, you make sure you get as tight as you can to the back. The problem with that is when you come into the S's, you can't really pass down the S's.
I think we might have a little bit of drizzle coming back as well.
Rain spots there now.
Some of these conditions are really, really awkward. You know, just when you think it's dry and you can push, suddenly you get a little bit of drizzle.
Yeah, the lads will be absolutely panicking in the paddock now. Be absolutely bedlam, changing tyres and But yeah, as you said, we've got some of the lads who run a wet and a dry bike when they have that luxury, but the vast majority of the lads will be out there just on the same bike.
I think we've still got a battle for second into the S's here. I don't think these two have quite settled on second and third place. This is the last lap. Out of the hairpin, into the bus stop for Martin. He's clear and he's going to finish with a win here in race 1 of the Stock 160. And it looks as though second place is sort of leaning towards...
Can he get close enough into that left that right-hander?
The race leader in traffic. I think this one is settled. Martin Bolsover is going to win. Matthew Bolsover wins race number 1 in the pit bike Stock 160. Alan Carter has hung on to second place ahead of Aaron Walker. And we're now looking for fourth place, which was 13 seconds off the leader, so it's a good way back. And there is a dice going on here. Martin Cockayne has come through to fourth, Jamie King. Michael Ford, I think, has lost a couple of positions on that last lap. I wonder if Michael is still aboard his machine as he's sliding down the timing screen. Mark Evans was 6th, Jack Carter 7th. Brendan Allen has come through to 8th place. Tom Orland has moved up to 9th. I suspect it could be Barry Prue coming into the top 10 to finish this one. No, it's not. It's Danny Underwood ahead of Jordan Smith. Bradley Tapper is 12th. It stopped raining, which is great, but I suspect, looking at a few of these puddles, are not going to clear by the finish of the event, which will make it interesting for us and testing for the riders, which is what they want. And we're away here with race 2 of the pit bike Stock 160. Who's going to make that whole shot into turn 1? Will everyone make it through cleanly? It's off camber, that corner, and that has caused a few problems. But these guys know what they're doing, and Martin Bolsover has grabbed the lead. He had a good run in the previous race that he was in, and he's made it into the mountain section. And we'll wait and see. Pick them up on the back straight. Across the crest, downhill. The cameras here are really doing Teesside a disservice here. They're not showing the elevation change that is on the track, certainly on the outfield, into the infield section now. And it's Bolsover leading. Hard on the brakes. Our camera crew doing overtime here. Handheld while he gets back to his camera position from the grid. Into the second bus stop. Now into South Bank Bend. And then turning and braking, very tricky. There's a surface change as it goes into the infield there, which is just enough to upset the bikes. Not for these guys, they know what they're doing. Into hairpin 4 of the infield, wind it back on, and we're coming through to finish lap 1. And it's Matt Bolsover leading in the 160 class, ahead of Alan Carter and Aaron Walker. These three were close in a previous race, so I suspect they'll be close throughout this one. Ava Carter. Is Bolsover gone down? Well, the commentator's curse has struck early and struck hard, I'm afraid, for Matthew Bolsover. I do apologise, Matt. I'm going to get some stick, I can tell. So it's Alan Carter and Aaron Walker now fighting out over the lead. And just to show how treacherous it is, a race winner has gone down the road. But he is back on his bike. So here is our race leader. 99 is Alan Carter. Aaron Walker on bike 133. That will be a salutary lesson to these two, I'm sure. Not to push too hard. Matt's made his way back from the grid. Not looking wet, so it's stopped raining.
It's not raining out there now. I don't think it's going to dry out. But these two had a bit of a battle in the Stock 140 race earlier on. A lot of the riders who race in the Stock 160s also race in the Stock 140s. Yep. Some have different bikes, but the vast majority of them will be running the 140cc engine in the Stock 160 class.
All right.
Yeah. I was just chatting to Tom Orland then, who races for miniature parts. He does like riding in the wet, so we'll see how he gets on. At the moment, he's running down in 9th at the moment.
I'm just waiting to see where Matt Bolsover's coming through. I think he's coming through in 5th place So he may not be finished. No, he's still dropping down the timing. So we got our leading pair, Carter and Walker, and then a gap to Ava Carter, Jamie King.
Jay, you going to go inside? Yes.
Getting the job done. So it's a 3-bike dice for third place.
And Matt's come through in 12, so he's hopefully picking his way back through up to the front.
And I think Mark Evans is closing on the pair ahead of him, fighting over third and fourth.
That is brave. Coming down to the S's, that is brave. Well done, Aaron.
Great camera work there.
Aaron's going to take a nice wide line now again. See if he can get down to do the same move he did in the 440s. No.
I think he's wise to it this time.
It wasn't close enough.
So into South Bank Bend. The battle for the lead in the pit bike stock 160 class, race 2.
He's getting close. He can look down the inside. Aaron's gone too wide there. Left the door open.
Yeah, but where's he going to finish up? Can he get it squared off and turned? Yes, he can. Gets into hairpin number 4. And we're through to finish. Lap number 3. And it's Carter leading from Aaron Walker into the bus stop.
I think Aaron's going to have a look at him down the bottom of this hill. We've absolutely flat out now in 4th. Winding it on. Can he get close enough? No, he's not close enough for here.
Now, would it be an easier pass into the mountain section where at least you can use the slope to slow you down?
Not across the top. It's quite difficult to pass across the top.
Yeah.
I think what he's going to do is he's going to square it off across the top of the mountain, try and get the power on, and I think he'll try and make a move into the left-hand hairpin at the bottom of the S's. But I don't think... Oh, yeah. He's trying to get in the slipstream.
He got awfully close to the grass there.
He's trying to get into the slipstream and not go motocrossing.
I don't think there's much grip on that grass.
No, there isn't. Is he going to try and make a pass down the left-hand hairpin? There's Patrick O'Connor.
He didn't get it done there. Alan Carter's still in the lead.
Oh, Paddy.
Wobble for 247, which is Patrick O'Connor. But he caught it.
Yeah. Paddy's again. He's a really good rider. He's come over from big bikes. He used to do track days on a Fireblade. So back end's twitching now. There's Matt Bolsover. He's coming through now. I think where is Matt at the moment? He's running in.
Well, he started the lap in 12th, but he's not that now.
No, I think he's down 10th. He's coming to Mark Evans now. Mr. Tassels.
Yeah, I think that Mark Evans is possibly down in 6th or 7th.
So Matt's running in 7th at the moment. I don't think he can make past the bus stop now. I think he's going to bide his time, do it on the bottom of the hill.
He's awfully close.
Ooh.
Oh, sneaking it down the inside. He's got it done into turn 1.
So Matt's now up to 6th place.
I'm just wondering how our race leaders are getting on. It was very tight, just 0.3 of a second at the line. They should be heading back into the infield very shortly. I do like it when they look across at each other.
Yeah.
And decide who's going to be last of the late breakers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because of course that's one line through the S's there.
Yeah, it's literally one line. What you try and do is you try and straight it out as much as possible. So you flat out in the drive-through there. Absolutely flat out, and you just get past that last, or pretty much level with that last curb, and you just chuck it down into 3rd gear, hard on the brakes into left-hand hairpin. It's Lawrence Wardle catching up with Tom Wallen there.
I've got a feeling that Alan might have stretched the lead here. It was 1.4 seconds on the last lap.
Lawrence had gone around the outside of Tom on the south bank. No, can't make it stick. It's good to see Brendan Allen with the yellow helmet at the back of that grid. He's really come on. He only started racing with it last season, number 23. He actually only started racing with last season. I remember having a few battles with him last year, but to see him up on the pace with people like Lawrence and Tom in such a short period of time is fantastic. One thing we say to a lot of our riders, it's going to take a minimum of a year to get at least up on pace, and see him battling with these guys, it's really good. But I know, in fact, him and his dad have been down doing a lot of winter testing with us at Stratton and Fullback. So it's just track time, really. it looks like it's paying off. So Martin Cocaine there, just at the back of that grid. One of our veterans on the mini pit. There's Matt Bolsover going past Ava Carson with 7. So Matt's now
in 4th, I think. Now.
Yeah, Matt's now up to 4th. Be coming up to Jamie King soon.
I think the pace is picking up.
Yeah, I think when the rain stops and you don't get those spots on your visor, it just boosts that confidence a little bit.
So your race leader, still Alan Carter, leading by 1.6 seconds ahead of Aaron Walker. Jamie King has come through to 3rd place, 21 seconds off the leading pair. Matthew Bolsover is making ground. He's overtaken Ava Carter on that last lap and has moved into 4th place. We're looking at the midfield dice here.
I think Lawrence has got a problem. Mr. Gear coming out the hairpin. He's lost a lot of pace. Nice, he's back up on it now.
Downhill. We're having a slight technical problem, so we're going to wait for the riders to come back into sight. We're looking for We're looking for bike 99.
That's Jay King and Patrick O'Connor coming through the S's now in a good battle, and Matt Bolsover is catching up with him. So Matt Bolsover is now in 4th place, catching up with Jay King.
So we're looking for the battle for 3rd place, which is bike 76 Jamie King and bike 421 Matthew Bolsover. They're 20 seconds off the leading pair.
Matt's taking the outside line there. Oh, well done, Matt. That takes a bit of confidence to go around.
I was going to say,
there.
he sort of tipped in over the top there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't quite done, and I think fair play. I think that move might have been helped and sorted out by Jamie.
And he just gapped him. 2 corners gapped him.
Well, he's in a hurry.
Yeah.
He'll be upset about having put it down the road at the start. But he has got back up and he's cutting through the field. I think he wants the double. He's got a lot of work to do, though, because I think 3rd might be as far as he gets, because he's 21 seconds behind.
I think when he comes past Paddy, I know for a fact Paddy will try and stick on the back of him. There's Alan Carter. He's now picking through the back markers, looking through the lead.
Yeah, we're 2 laps from the finish here, probably a lap and a half, I think, maybe. So he's seen off the best of Aaron Walker, but Aaron's still there in the background, so like, once again, no opportunity to ease off here, and the weather is keeping them honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Through to start another lap. We are indeed on the last lap, as I figured. So Aaron Walker's come through 4 seconds down. And they've gone down out into the infield. Oh, sorry, into the outfield.
We've got an absolute real battle now. This is for, I think this is for 4th and 5th, really. It looks like Patrick O'Connor's dropped off the pace. He must have had a moment somewhere.
And I'm guessing it's battles right through the field for every class.
Yeah, that's Mark Evans running in 7th. Yeah, it's the good thing about this sport is you're always going to have a battle somewhere. Someone will be on your similar kind of pace, and so you're always going to have a bit of a tussle with someone, a bit of a bar bashing session.
I'm going to say I've seen virtually no contact at all. Racing room given and unexpected.
Yeah, but it is. I think the conditions definitely come into play at this point. I think everyone's a little bit wary that it's a bit slippery out there, and obviously very, very wet.
Well, it's Sunday night and there's work on Tuesday.
Work on Tuesday, bank holiday, Monday tomorrow, isn't it?
Unless, of course, you have to work bank holidays. There's only so much that cocodamol or paracetamol can do to a bump or a bruise.
Yeah, the leader now, Alan Carter, coming through his final corners.
Job done.
Shaking the checkered flag.
So Alan Carter wins the Pit Bike Stock 160 Race 2 by 3.5 seconds from Aaron Walker. We've got a bit of a wait now, about 20 seconds waiting for Matt Bolsover although I do suspect Matt is going to come through in third place ahead of Jamie King. We've still got battles going on through the field. Remember, points from both races count towards the championship. It's early in the season, so there's not much point talking about the championship. But points lost early on in the season are difficult to retrieve later on. So you've got to get every place that you can. So Matt Bolsover came through in third place, 21 seconds down on Aaron Walker. Jamie King had dropped off to 30 seconds off the leader. Ava Carter was fifth, Jack Carter, Tom Orland, Alex Latham, Mark Evans, Brendan Allen, Anthony West, and William Lawrence Wardle made up the top 12.